Hold off on the test review packet, quiz review packet until later, but I wanted to give it to you before the break in case you wanted to get some practice with it before we'll get it on Monday. But we're going to just focus on finishing up some of the problems from the packet. There may be some overlaps between the quiz review and the packet, but it would just be good extra practice if you come across that. So let's go to page 23. Now, when I say non-calculator, what I mean is, well, at least for this class, for this upcoming quiz, you'll get to use your calculator. But if I say non-calculator, that means I want to see your work like as if you did not have a calculator, right? So I want to see that that you obviously can use your calculator to double check anything I want to check, but I need to see the work like as if you do not have a calculator. That's what
Like how like
right, or like use substitution, or like, you know, evaluating a trig value, things like that. Yeah. So if you give me a answer that is a random decimal value, then you may not get full credit because I want to see exact value. All right, so go ahead and read number 3 on page 23, and see if you can set up each problem. I'll go through each with you, but want to see if we can identify this method from washer method, from cross section. He is attached, so you're stuck. We want to. I just want to walk around. If you have any questions for me, I can help you clarify anything you want me to.
yeah, I can use the calculator for like simple calculations, right? Like the cube root of a large number or
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So part A is just area. So area is just either top minus bottom or right minus left. We always want to explore the possibility of top minus bottom first, right? That's always the easier path to attempt. If we can't do top minus bottom, then we'll look at right minus left. But if we have two functions, then we should rely on top minus bottom.
Mr. James, for the, also the calculator, when I'm checking this, showing a different answer, I'm pretty sure I typed everything correctly. Showing a different answer.
Oh, you're getting a different answer, for part A.
Yeah.
That's weird. It said calculator is having trouble getting to that 18. I don't know why. It routes 18, but I don't know why. It's not
How
exactly.
we reset it?
Something happened. I don't know why. Yeah,
I think that's probably a glitch.
maybe. Let me put it in the 36 Pro so it gives it.
No, but I'm supposed to get 8. Wait. Yeah, oh, it's a plan. It's in these patterns. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's calculators. Like, I'll look at all my baby, then like, I want to get. Well, 7.99. That's. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, the calculator it's not getting it. Yeah. But if this was on the AP exam, it would not be a calculator question. It would be a non-calculator. So you're forced to do by hand.
Oh. But, well, at least the calculator is close enough.
Yeah.
Like the sense of that you would have to like write out the 9, 6 times 9, like 4, 3. It's like you have to write out.
Right, but remember, 9 to the, I want to make sure that we understand, 9 to the 3 halves is something that we can do by hand. Right, I know that this is difficult if you do 9 cubed and take the square root, right? We don't want to do that. You want to bring that number to a smaller and then, right, so it should be manageable. So you take the square root of 9 first, and then you raise it to the power. Okay. So that's the way to do it without a calculator. Now, having said that, AP exam will accept this form. And they'll give you full credit here, even if you can get all the way down to 50. So this is an acceptable answer. Now, if it's a trig question, you can't leave it as tangent to the power of 3. You got to get it down to a numeric value, right? Yeah, as long as there's some numeric form, that will be able to accept that. Okay, part B, volume of a solid generated when R is rotated around the horizontal line, y equals 7. Y equals 7 is off of, it's not touching the boundary of our shaded region. So there's a gap, there's a hole, washer method.
This week. Why wouldn't you do, because I thought when you're finding the different R's.
Yeah.
You always. You go from the like the farthest graph minus the rotating axis and then the closer graph minus the vertical.
Right, so I always do a top minus bottom, but if you did it the other direction, it's perfectly fine because every expression is getting squared, so
Oh, yeah.
as long as you're, using the right boundaries, the order is not gonna matter, but I'm always gonna do top minus bottom, but if you do bottom minus top, it's the same thing.
Okay, okay.
Sure, yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. We'll say 7 is like the gap. It's considered even. Okay, part C, perpendicular to the y-axis. Which direction is that? Horizontal, right? So if you have a horizontal base, you know, you got to make some adjustments, right? Our equations are probably not in the correct form.
I think it's a- do test reviews at the same.
Yeah, sorry. Now, we changed the unit number.
Yeah.
Mhm. So our base is y squared over 4 minus 0. The area, we had to build it from scratch here. We know rectangle is length times or width times height. So we know the base is 1 dimension. The other one is 3 times the base. That's the height. So basically our area is just going to be 3 times base squared.
I remember the homework, there's an equilateral triangle with 3 times the height.
No, yeah, if it's equilateral triangle, it should just be root 3 over 4 base squared. Was there, was, yeah, because the only formula you got to build from scratch where they have to tell you the dimensions is rectangles. Everything else, it should just be pretty standard. Root, you know, just some coefficient times base squared. That should be the case. I know, yeah, but rectangle though, we do have to adjust based off what they tell us.
Yeah, it's number 14 on the textbook problem.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, sorry, I should not have assigned that. That's more than what we're gonna be expected to do. But, yeah, so sorry about that. 14, that was a little much. Okay, we just have to set it up. Do not have to evaluate this. This is fine, or maybe you can clean up a little bit more here, 3 over 16. Okay, let's go to page 24. Try that one. Okay, 24 is also a non-calculator. So there's going to be a little use substitution that I want you to show your steps for there for part A. Just be careful when you're evaluating your antiderivative and there is zero involved. I think our tendency is we assume that anything with zero is going to wipe out. I mean, so just be careful. In this case, that's not quite the case with e raised to the exponent, right? There's still something left over if I have exponent that is zero. Oh, I messed up. This is y equals -2, right? That's minus and -2x. Yeah.
Okay, so part A requires us to work things out by hand. But part B, if you can set up washer method, then you just leave your answer in that integral form. No need to evaluate. Okay, after this, we'll do page 29. And then page 30, and yeah, we'll be done. We'll just do two more. And the rest we can save for after. Right. Okay, so page 29. 29 is non-calculator. And 30 is also non-calculator. So, but no. You want to have you show all your work there. Oh, I do want to talk about part B for a moment. This seems confusing because you're seeing that, wait, we usually have to build our cross-section formula that's here. They're already telling you what the area is. So we don't have to build a shape, 1/2 base squared or base squared, that is the area. So just put the integral around it and you have your integral formula. So yeah, so part B is cross-section, but they're already telling you the area formula. So that should make it easier, even though this seems like a strange way. It seems different than the way that we've seen problems.
If it's perpendicular to the y-axis, then we'll have to rearrange that, right?
Right, but typically if they're technically, yeah, but they wouldn't do that. Okay, that's a little too much.
Any questions with A or B?
Do they require units here or no?
Yeah, if they don't give you units, if they don't ask for units, then they can't take out points for it. Yeah. Part C and D requires you to rewrite your equation. We have horizontal base for cross-section problem, part C, and part D, the fact that there's a vertical axis of revolution is forcing us to draw our radius horizontally as well. Part C and D, you're just setting it up. You're not working out the calculus, just the setup. Yeah, let me know if you have any trouble with creating the equation or setting up the radius, big R, little r, because I think the nice thing about this unit is there's not a whole lot of calculus. If you just set it up, chances are, I mean, most of the problems are just going to be the setup. Now, there are problems like part B where you have to work out the integral problem, but it's the setup that's more important. Okay, if you're good with 29, then finish up with page 30. Page 30, part A, you're gonna have to go through, work it out by hand, so U substitution is gonna be needed there.
These problems are really-
Yes. Oh, you mean on the test review? I don't know. There may be some overlaps.
Yeah, I think the 4 page.
Okay, okay. I see, okay. Yeah, feel good about area. Top minus bottom or right minus left. Then you should feel pretty good about this method, washer method, cross section, and you know, should feel pretty comfortable going into the quiz. I'm gonna the quiz I give you, I'm gonna draw the graphs for you, so you just have to be able to identify the.
On the AP exam, they'll always give.
Yeah, chances are AP exams for area volume, this method problems, majority of the problems, vast majority of problems, they have the graph drawn for you.
Homework.
Yeah, no, some of the homework it did not, yeah, so, but on the quiz, on the AP exam, I'll have the graph drawn for you. Okay, everybody good with page 29? Okay, page 30. Careful with this area problem that you put a parentheses around that bottom portion. Because the negative has to distribute through the bottom function. So this one, that's important here. You don't have that negative distributing through, that's going to throw off all your answer here. So. Part B is washer method, and part C is cross section.
much time do they give? This type of problem.
So each FRQ, they, 15 minutes. But you can do less or more than that, but that's how much they allot for each section. They do 30 minutes for the first portion and 60 minutes for the second portion, so averages out to about 15 minutes per
Because
FRQ.
these problems get a little lengthy sometimes.
A little what?
Lengthy.
Yeah, and you know, curve is pretty generous, so it's not like you have to, it's not like it's a failure if you don't get every part correct, right? That most important thing is if you can get like good portion of A through C correct. Part D is on a lot of FRQs are typically more challenging, so but yeah, if you feel like you can get 5 or 6 points out of the 9 on average for each problem, that's pretty good. That even you're on track for a 5 just by doing that. Okay, you guys do have homework to finish up the chapter 8 exercise problems, the AP problems, but I'm gonna make it due Tuesday after the break. Okay. So Monday we'll do review. Tuesday I'm gonna start. We still have 2 more FRQ quizzes to take. So, but they should be. It's really one new FRQ that you haven't seen before. Everything else you've kind of seen. So. But we'll have 3-4 days to prepare for the first FRQ, and the second FRQ will be the Monday of that last week. Okay, so we have 3 quizzes coming up. We got the area volume quiz and then 2 FRQ quizzes. Yeah.
So we.
That's right. No more tests, just quizzes. All right, come get your phones.
Oh, I was here for one of those. I invite, okay. Joe, you have been.